Hey guys, time for a hot take. Football Manager is too easy. Now, wait, put down the pitchforks. Hear me out. Football Manager, if you're playing with an amateur team in an amateur league, is too easy. That's the problem that we have, right? So we see this question come up from time to time on Reddit when Reddit's not on strike, or on the official forums, or on Discord and places like that, right? What should we do if we want to play one of these unplayable leagues, right? If you want to start in England in like the 13th division or something like that, or if you're going to start like way down the pyramid in some places. Well, I'll tell you what, if it's an amateur team, you're probably going to find that the game is a lot easier than you thought it was going to be. I mean, just take a look here at the competition, right? So we're playing in this amateur league. We're 12-1. I didn't do any transfers at the beginning of the season. All I did was slap together a tactic. This is not a downloaded tactic. This is something that I just simply put together. I knew that the Segundo Volante role is pretty powerful, so I made sure to have one of those. And I made sure to have overlaps on the side. And, I like the Shadow Striker role because I've played with it before. The truth is that both of these midfielders kind of like playing as a Mazzala, which is the only reason why we have one. I mean, that's the way that we put it together. There was no thought that went into this. This is not a tactic that's going to go out and destroy anybody, right? It's mostly a wing play tactic that I slapped a little counter press on. That's it. And we are 11-1. 11-0 with one draw after 12 matches, and we're just absolutely dominating the league. I mean, if you want to see how much we're dominating the league, look here at the competitions, right? So Maele, our striker, has 22 goals. He's easily leading the league. Pela Malani has 9 assists, which is also leading the league. Maele has had 7 player of the matches out of 13 games, which is absolutely remarkable. He's playing at the 8.51, which is tied for the lead in the league. And Atu, who's not a good goaltender by any stretch of the imagination, has 2 clean sheets, which means that he's also tied for the league lead. We are good at offense. We're good at defense. We're good at everything, and we're running away with the league, and nobody's going to catch us. By the time that we play Viala Tongan again, which is going to be in 2 matches, we might have already clinched. Right? I mean, that's what this is like. That's what it's been like playing in this amateur league. Now, you wonder, okay, so what is it that makes this so easy? I've shown you this before. The thing that makes this so easy is that it's, first of all, if you have transfers, like the first transfer window open, it's like absolutely easy to go into any sort of league and to go over to the season preview and figure out from here who the good players are and try to convince all the good players to come over to your team. That's all you have to do. And you can get all the good players in the league to come on over, and then it's like a piece of cake for you to win. Yeah, we were predicted to finish 5th, but we had a tactic that wasn't awful, and we played good young players instead of playing bad old players. We didn't even sign anybody, and we've still been able to dominate completely, right? One of the reasons why it's too easy is because there's no transfer budget, no wage budget, and what that means is that if a player is interested in going to your team, since nobody's on any contracts, you can just tell them to come on over. Now, it does mean that other teams might poach players off of you. We haven't had that happen yet. It's incredible. There's another facet of this that's too easy. So you can see our overall balance is 11,000 euros, right? I can make a request for the board for all sorts of things if I really want to increase our training facilities or whatever. We're not going to do any of that. We're not going to build a new stadium. But the other thing that is sort of the secret about playing in amateur leagues is that if you're looking for a coaching badge, which I believe I'm still studying for, and it's going to take a minute or two to open this up in game, if you're looking to get a coaching badge, this is the level at which you want to do it. And the reason why is because the board has nothing else to spend money on, right? I mean, everything is income. Everything comes in. Nothing goes out because there's no transfer budget. There's no wage budget. We do have a scouting budget, so we can go around the island and see the players that we want to hire and make sure that they want to play for us, right? I've already signed like 20-something players on a free transfer. And guess what? It doesn't even matter if they're any good or not. If they're no good, we'll just release them because they're free. They cost nothing, right? As you can see, the game is far too easy when you play with amateur clubs. So if I look over here I think over here my profile, is this going to show this for me anywhere or not? Apparently it's not. But it normally would show me that I am in the process of studying for a badge. And unfortunately, I can't figure out where this would be here on the way that this is set up. At any rate, I am studying right now for the whatever it is, the National C level badge or whatever. And because that's the case, like, I can go ahead. If I stay in this on this team for like 2 or 3 years, I can get a lot of badges and get a lot of stuff. A lot of reputation and stuff like that built up. And by doing that, it makes the game so much easier when we go away from amateur clubs to semi-pro and to professional clubs. So the question then is, what do we do when we're in the Hexagon Challenge and we want to make it an actual challenge, right? Because it's obvious, and I don't think enough people talk about this, it's obvious that if you make the Hexagon Challenge if you start off with an amateur club, that your first season is going to be really easy, right? You're probably not going to end up in last place. Even if the club is really bad, you probably will be able to do a few things to make sure you can win a game here or there that are just basic Football Manager things. Like, as long as you don't make, like, I don't know if you've ever seen what was it called, the fumble zone with their Football Manager tactics, right? As long as you don't do that, you'll be able to be competitive, right? What I think would be the bigger challenge in Football Manager would be instead to start off not with a semi-pro team, but with a professional team in which you are expected to win, but you're playing against a league that's difficult and you don't have a lot of money. That would be the difficult way to start this off. But playing with an amateur club on an island somewhere is a piece of cake, right? And you can get your badges. The season doesn't last that long. American Samoa is a little bit different. There are 20 matches. When I played in Kiribati, when I tried this 2 years ago, it wasn't a Hexagon Challenge. It was kind of a jump around the world challenge. What I noticed is that like the season was like 8 games or something like that. I mean, it was like nothing. And then you had a tournament at the end, and that was it, right? And you spend most of the rest of the time just clicking continue and waiting for the game to, finish moving forward to the next screen, right? If that's all you have to do, it's a piece of cake, right? Then you get your badges. You don't have to spend any time worrying about it. You don't worry about money at all, and you can stay there to your heart's content. Now, what happens is, so you win the league, you go into the Champions League, and then you get totally crushed. That didn't happen in Kiribati because we weren't part of that Champions League, but I went to Djibouti after that and entered the African Champions League after winning the league the first season. And all of a sudden, I realized that our team was actually really bad, right? Even though we were dominating the other amateur clubs. So when it comes to that element, yeah, it's a little bit harder. But even still, I mean, overall, amateur club management is actually pretty easy. If you want a real challenge from the very beginning, don't start with an amateur club. Start with a professional club that has like little to no money, that is expected to win, but that has problems with its players. That will be the real challenge, right? Go look at that Ingolstadt save that I did earlier this year, right? That was a real challenge because like 4 or 5 of our key players started the season injured, including the guy that was making the most money. There was no transfer budget at all, no space in the wage budget at all, and everybody was upset because we were relegated the season before. That's where you should start if you want a challenge for this, right? Now, that not necessarily is going to be a Hexagon challenge, but I would say if you're going to start the Hexagon challenge in Oceania, what you really should do is you should start off in Fiji and find a professional club, or at least a semi-pro club in Fiji, so that you have to actually like do wages and actually balance things out, right? Anyway, there you go. That's sort of my take on this. I think from here on out, I'm going to try my hardest to go to professional clubs so that it's not so easy. Because as far as this amateur stuff is concerned, it's too easy. It's far too easy. The level of competition is not that high, and it's easy to get all the good players just to go over to your club. I'm thinking of ways that Sports Interactive could potentially fix this to make it not so simple. We'll talk about that next time. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.